Hi, this is Artifacts. We're going to be discussing something that came from Newsmax. They've found out that the LA Times does not allow opposing viewpoints on this global warming thing. Specifically, they don't allow you, if you disagree with man-made global warming, say it's a bunch of BS, as I do. That's Barry Soetoro, by the way. Then they're going to ban you. They're not going to allow your letter on their op-ed page. Now, I guess they can do what they want. That's not in debate here. But the problem is this shows the major credibility gap that these so-called mainstream newspapers and sites have with many of us. I'll be honest with you, I'll use mainstream for some things as long as they're non-political stories. You know, some senator dies or something, post a story about that on a chat group, that's fine. But anything that's political, like global warming, and it is political, strictly political, I won't use mainstream sources for that. Or abortion, every night, mainstream alphabet channels, kill them babies, dun 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 dun, kill them babies, kill, kill. So all I think about is killing babies. And having homosexuals marry. And I wonder why the moral decline of this country is accelerating. Anyway, this is why so many of us don't trust mainstream media. As they are censoring tons and tons of information. There's stuff that they simply won't talk about. They've been largely silent on Benghazi, for instance. That whole mess. And it looks like that ambassador was rubbed out because he might have talked about Obama funneling weapons to Al-Qaeda in Syria. Or wherever they were headed. That's bad news. But the mainstream won't talk about things like that. They won't talk about supposed to be a number of radical Muslims in the Obama administration. John Brennan, for one, I know is a radical Muslim. They don't talk about things like that. They don't talk about Barry Soetoro, which was Obama's original name. And it just goes on and on and on. This is why so many of us listen to the alternative media rather than go to these so-called mainstream sources. These are all in bed with, this is called the government media complex, and the way you get out of it is go with alternative media. Now, what is alternative media? Alex Jones, people who put Mars photos, like myself, for instance, I put Mars photos on YouTube. I'm part of the alternative media. Newsmax, MinutemenNews.com, it just goes on and on. You see, what has happened with the advent of the internet is that we have zillions and zillions of alternative news sources out there that have sprung up that aren't run by the alphabet channels, American Broadcasters of Communism, National Broadcasters of Communism, Communist Broadcasting System, the Communism News Network, and so on. Did I mention these are communists? Most of them are. So, this is why so many of us don't trust the alternative media and won't use them. And that's the big thing right there. As for the LA Times, if you want to do something about the only thing we can do is boycott that rag. You know, if you live in that area and you don't like the fact that they want the rights for them, but they don't want the rights for the readers. They want the readers to agree with everything they say. And that's how leftist liberals, in fact, view freedom of speech. You see, to a commie-lib, what freedom of speech means is you can say whatever you want as long as it agrees with what you're told to say. In other words, if a commie-lib tells you the sky is green, you can't go and say the sky is blue. You're wrong, the sky is blue. You can't do that. But as long as you say the sky is green, you can say it. And that's how these people think. You can have freedom of speech as long as it agrees with everything that they say. Well, that's not right. Well, that's the way it is. My advice, simple. Turn the TV off. I mean, it's okay to watch an occasional ball game or something, but it's so messed up. There's just so much garbage. I can't even watch any of the shows anymore. It's just 100% propaganda. No matter where I turn, anti-white Christian, anti-American propaganda, no matter which way I turn. And frankly, I don't watch TV anymore as a result. I turned to alternative radio a long time ago. Started listening to talk radio because I didn't have any money. And it's worked out really great for me. It didn't happen overnight, but it was like a veil was lifted. Eventually I began to understand that we were being put into a false matrix-like false reality. And that's about the size of it. That's exactly what we have here. The alphabet channels have created this essentially false reality, and if all you do is watch them, you're going to have your eyes turn from the world, from the way things really are. This really isn't about global warming. This is more about these people wanting their First Amendment rights, but they don't want to grant the same rights to others. That's the way it is, Mr. Thornton. You sure are a hypocrite. And, you know, it goes both ways. Rush Limbaugh bans the Birchers from his radio show. So it goes both ways. But here we have, you know, Mr. Paul Thornton, who claims that he believes in the First Amendment, but doesn't think that you and I have those rights. We have to agree with him. Well, screw them. My advice: turn off mainstream sources and follow only alternative sources for most stories, unless you're certain it's not a political thing. That's what we see happening anyway. These idiots are just losing viewers and readers and whatnot all over the place. So to summarize, I'd just say, you know, pull out the plug on TV and do some reading, research different sites, if UFOs are interesting, look up scoop marks, one of my favorite subjects. I'm experimenting to try to find out what's been causing mine. So far I've gotten nowhere. But hopefully I'll find out eventually. I've put myself under surveillance at night. But, you know, that's the type of story that mainstream usually doesn't pick up. Because they don't want you to know a whole bunch of different things. They don't want you to know, for instance, there are vampires. They're not like in the movie, they're 100% human. But there are these sickos who do drink blood. No, they don't turn into bats. They're not impressed by crosses. But they're real. They're humans. They're just sick in the head. And they don't talk about these things because that's not part of their agenda. These people have an agenda, and their agenda is to control the public. Well, screw them, like I said. I'm not going to be controlled like that. I'll listen to my alternative news sources. And I'm going to continue posting Mars videos. There'll be another one coming up next weekend, in all likelihood. I'm Artifacts of Mars. Study those Mars photos. And throw that newspaper out.